Welcome into the Greater Texas Ford Dealers inaugural Female Athlete of the Month. From Big Spring to Amarillo, Burke Burnett to Midland, Carthage to Lamesa, Stanton to Mineola, and many points in between. We celebrate the remarkable achievements of female high school athletes based on performances on and off the field and courts. From Class 6A to private schools, it's the Greater Texas Ford Dealers Female Athlete of the Month. Joining me now, a girl who hasn't lost a race since the 7th grade, the amazing Taytum Goodman of Springlake-Earth. So good to have you on the show. She is our Class 1A winner of your Greater Texas Ford Dealers Female Athlete of the Month. Taytum, great to see you. Hard to believe that we can even slow you down. You're so fast to do the interview. What about winning this tremendous coveted honor?
Amazing. I mean, winning races is great, but getting the honors after it is just like the step ahead. You know, it's awesome. It feels great. I'm so excited.
Well, we think about what you've been able to do, and you're at the smallest classification in the state, 6-man football, and
Yes.
yet you're big on talent. How are you able to pull this off in the consistency of never losing a race in high school?
You know, it was, I mean, in 7th grade, I hate to lose, like in anything, games, board games, anything. I hate to lose. Like, that's just not me. So in 7th grade, when I won my first race, I told myself, I was like, I don't want to lose again. You know, that's not going to be my goal until 7th grade through 12th grade. I'm not going to lose. And now that I've accomplished that in such a small school, and, you know, I didn't just compete against 1A, I competed against 1A through 6A sometimes. So doing that is a major accomplishment to me. You know, it makes me feel so much better about myself.
Was there ever a time where you went to a race and you weren't feeling good, you were under the weather, and you thought, oh, this might be the day that my streak gets snapped?
So no, I never let myself be like that. You know, I never let myself like go down and be like, you know, I'm losing. No, that was just not me. Like, I'm gonna win. You know, I'm not gonna make excuses. You know, if I lose, but I'm not gonna have an excuse.
Well, it's really funny because I think about the motivation for you. It's not just breaking all-time records, it's breaking your own records. I mean, is that the biggest motivation that you have?
Yes. So going into some of the meets I go to, I'm like, you know what? I did this last year. I better break it this year, or I'm gonna make myself feel bad. And so, you know, some meets I had to do that, and some other meets I was so happy that I beat my record. You know, that makes me feel a little bit better than breaking some other record. You know, I beat my own record that beat someone else's record a few years ago. So yeah.
And it makes it a little bit easier because you know the mark, you know the time that you got to beat, which is the state record. Now, we can talk about all your records that you have set in UIL history, but we would be here for the next hour. We just don't have enough time. But one of the most impressive ones that really jumps out to me is the fastest 2 miles in UIL history. You did that in Round Rock your sophomore year. Did you think that you had a shot at history that day? And did you sense something special was going to happen?
It never even went through my mind at the first of the race that I was gonna like I could break a history record. You know, I wanted to break mine, of course, from freshman year. But when I guess I crossed the finish line and they said something about UI history, and I was like, hey, what did they say? And I didn't. No one really caught on until the awards assembly. And when they said that, I was like, oh my gosh, this is something special, like amazing. And so I was just so pumped that entire year.
I think about your decorated career. It's really remarkable. I mean, nobody has ever been able to do this. Freshman year, you break the state record in Class 1A. Sophomore year, you did that amazing feat of, you know, putting together the fastest 2 mile in UIL history. Your junior year, you have the largest margin of victory of any class in state history. That is ever. Your senior year, you just win the state championship. No big deal there. So it's 4 state titles. When you sit back and look at your high school career, you're probably going to enjoy this a lot more when you're in your 50s and 60s. But have you been able to marvel a little bit about the greatness that you've been able to pull off?
So I guess when I hit my 4th consecutive win in cross country, I mean, it hit me a little bit. I was like, you know, I finally did it. I'm done with it for high school at least. And I mean, I had the goal, of course, freshman year to win all 4. And now that I've finally done it, it's like a big wave over me, you know? And then when I got home to the football game, they announced it, and they're like, she's won 4 consecutive in a row. And that's when it really was like, dang, I really did. So, yes.
So is your mom and dad, do they add an extension to your house for all the medals and trophies you have? Because I don't even know how you have room for all this.
They need to. I'm going to tell them that today. They should. They really need to. My
Well,
walls are filling up.
no one is in your league, and I know it's so much fun, but you come from good bloodlines and you have some really good coaching in your parents. Your brother's also in on this. How much has your family helped you become this world-class runner that you are?
They pushed me a lot. They like support me and stuff. My whole family does. They come to my meets and support. But my brother's a big one. I mean, I think he's the most important. He when he still lived here and like went to school here, we would run together. He would push me, and then cross country, I would have to admit he would have to start in front of me because I would catch him, and he will say that too. But he was the biggest supporter and motivator that I had.
At what age did you pass him and able to beat Trace?
So he's gonna get mad that I say this, but in cross country, he never beat me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Man, how can he handle that? I mean, his big ego, I mean, it's out there now. The whole world knows.
Yeah, I know. He's gonna see this and be like, you didn't have to say that. But like,
well, it's a good person to lose to, your sibling. And,
yes.
To think that you have 4 of the fastest times in state history, a 4-time state champion, that's only happened 3 times in the last 30 years. And you got to go all the way back to the 80s and 90s to realize the other girls that were able to pull that off. When you look at all of your accomplishments, which ones are the ones that you cherish the most?
That's a hard one. Let's see. Winning the 4 in a row was awesome. That's probably a big one. And then, that's a hard one. All of it. I can't even tell you. At May Simmons, when I broke 11. That was a big one for me. Because when I broke 12, I guess in the 8th grade, everyone was like, that's never happened here. That's amazing. Well, breaking 11 was something really special for me to do at May Simmons in Lubbock.
Well, and I look at the one that really pops out to me is the small town nationals, where you were up against girls from all over the country. You're talking Pennsylvania, California, and Florida. That's some of the biggest speed demons out there. And you took all of them down. What did that do for you, knowing that you could do that on really a national stage like that?
Okay, I forgot about that one. I'm glad you said that. So going into that race, I was like, this is big school. This is big time. Everyone's coming. I've only done Texas really. And like, after I finished the race, that really like set me up there. I was like, you know what? If I can do this, I can do more. So after that, I really like pushed myself. I guess I was going into the track. So that really helped me for track. And then it just motivated me more to want to go to college and do it, to see how far I could go in there.
How much have your parents meant to you? Because there's a lot of traveling, and especially when you're in the middle of nowhere at a Class 1A school, to give you these opportunities to compete on the state stage.
It means a lot, going to state and stuff, and especially having all of them come and support me at Round Rock, Austin, everywhere we go. It means a lot that I have supporters like that will take me places.
It's not often that we see Class 1A athletes get major scholarships at major Division I programs. You had a lot of them out there looking at you. I know you narrowed it down to Texas A&M, Mississippi State, and Texas Tech. What was it about the Red Raiders that made you put your guns up?
So, I've always grown up being a Red Raider fan. My shirt's Red Raiders. I have them. I have millions of shirts. And my brother ran there last year, so I got to go to all their meets, and I saw it, and just the atmosphere of them really stuck to me. Everyone, I went on my official visit, and that was really cool to me. Like, that stuck out to me. And then the coaches and staff, I really love them. They are supportive, and so that really stuck out to me, the staff, and just how the team like surrounds you and comforts you in the visit and makes you feel like home. And I think Redderland's a good place to be. So let's see how it is for me.
And then how about the opportunity to be able to be coached by a living legend in Wes Kitley? And I know your brother is also part of that staff in a way as well. That just seems like the perfect combination for you.
Yes, it is. I mean, I'm amazed by it. Like I've seen Coach Kitley, and now that I'm actually getting to run for him is something really special. And especially my brother being there too, that's going to be really cool.
With your accolades and what you've already done in high school that nobody has ever done, and then being with Kitley, I mean, I'm looking at you, and this is just me. I'm the hype guy. I think we're going to see you in the Olympics one day. Is that a dream of yours?
That is a dream. I guess in like ever since I was little in kindergarten, I think I've always had that little sign that what do you want to do when you grow up? Be in the Olympics. That's been me. So I'm not gonna let that dream down right now, especially from where I'm at right now.
Well, we look at your other athletic prowess, and it's pretty impressive. You've done big things on the golf course as well. You went to the state championship. In that one year, you actually went to state in 3 different competitions. How are you able to pull all that off?
That was amazing. Going into that year, I wanted to play golf. And I guess after cross country, I started practicing golf. A guy here in Earth actually helped me and made me a lot better. I mean, going into, I guess, junior year, you would have been like, yeah, no, she needs to not play golf. And then after some help, I mean, I seriously improved. And I thank him amazingly for doing that. And then making it to state there and then going to track. I mean, all 3, that was just like amazing. Like that's an athlete right there.
Yeah, I mean, that just proves it on the big stage. I mean, the UIL is like, isn't that the same girl that was taking? Wait a minute, it is the same girl that is winning all this stuff. So, what's your golf handicap now after you had those rough couple of years there? Any holes in ones or double eagles we should know about?
So I was really close to a hole in one. So at state on like I don't even remember what hole it was, but no. At regionals and state, this both happened to me. On a par 3, I hit it and it hit the pin and it was like 2 inches away from the hole. Yeah, both times I was like, it hits the pin and it rolls back. But so I have gotten basically a hole one, just not in the hole.
Well, that sounds right about you because you always do big things on the biggest stage, and I could see you doing that deep in the playoffs,
Yes.
no doubt. Now, you've been such a star in all these individual sports. You did play some basketball as well. How much
Yes.
did you enjoy playing with the team and playing with the girls?
I love basketball. I like playing basketball outside of school in the summer and everything. And then getting to play with my teammates is really special. I mean, especially the ones that have graduated. We have 2 girls playing in some schools like farther that way. And like those were some of my best teammates and I miss them dearly, but I'm glad I get to play with the girls here that I'm playing with this year. So
Well, you're a star academically as well, president of the Student Council, FFA
yes.
leadership program, top 10% of your class. Why is that so important for you to be that good off of the field as well?
So I love being part of everything at my school. I love planning. I love doing all that. And being the president of all those and just helping out. I mean, people look up to me. So I feel like I should, like help them out too. And being able to do that and make an impact on my school, not just athletically, but in the like community stuff, I feel like that's needed. And I really enjoy doing it.
I think it's interesting too that you're into livestock as well. You've shown goats, which makes sense because you are the goat, pigs and cows. You had to get away from the female cows, the heifers for a little while because that's 2,000 pounds of cow that could actually step on your feet and
Yes.
damage you, for running.
Yes.
But tell me about that. What has intrigued you about dealing with the livestock?
So I started off with showing heifers, and then I started with pigs, and then I stayed with pigs, and then I started showing goats, and I love the goats. Like that's the what I should have stuck to since 3rd grade, but I'm glad I started, I guess, 3 years ago. And anything, even just not showing goats, I'm all into it. Feeding, taking care of them, learning all about it, and that's where I want to be in life when I grow up. I want to like do something with animals. So I'm really glad I got into all that.
And because you do that, it made a lot of sense that you were looking at
Yes.
Texas A&M and then going to Texas Tech. I mean, that seems like a match
Yes.
made in heaven because of that.
2 great ag programs. Yes.
So what is the craziest thing with dealing with the livestock that you've gone through?
That's a hard one. So let's see. Goats aren't the smartest. We'll say that. They are not very smart.
It's a goat rodeo, man.
It is. They are not very smart. The craziest thing, that's a hard one. Just all of, I guess, well, I want to be an embryologist, so for goats. So I guess that's probably the craziest thing, seeing all that and like helping out with all that, the breeding process. So that's probably the craziest thing.
So what do you do for fun?
For fun. So my fun is, I guess, going to the goats. I really do enjoy that. That's fun. And then hanging out with some of my friends, going to the courts, playing basketball against them, and then and hanging out with my brother. That's probably my fun. That's what I do.
Well, congratulations on all your success. It's so much fun to celebrate your greatness. Congratulations on being the Greater Texas Ford Dealers Class 1A Female Athlete of the Month.
Thank you. Means a lot.
Your Greater Texas Ford Dealers is so proud to recognize the hard work, dedication, perseverance, and passion of so many Texas high school female athletes who inspire us all. Here's this month's winners. And don't forget, you can see their interviews at Greater TX Ford for Greater Texas Ford Dealers. From Class 1A to 6A, plus private schools, we celebrate them all. Thanks so much for watching the Greater Texas Ford Dealers inaugural Female Athlete of the Month. See you next time.